Hey everyone, I hope y'all are doing wonderful out there. I have something on my heart and my mind that I wanted to talk about. And before I do, there's been a few people reach out to me and just thank you for letting me know that these videos help you, because it helps me to feel more, I guess, feel more confident talking about some of these things, to know that I'm not just on here rambling, that maybe there is a good message to this after all. So thank you all so much. So I want to talk about medication. And many people know I've always was pretty open about being medicated for several years, but I wanted to talk about why I stopped taking medication. And I'm going to preface this with saying this is not medical advice. And I am not saying that if you are on medication that you need to just stop taking medication. No, that is absolutely not what I'm saying. In fact, it's actually very dangerous to just stop all at once, which I have done a long time ago, and that was a really bad situation. But with all that being said, I want to talk about why I got off of medication and actually what it's done for me. So, for on and off for years throughout like my mental health and spiritual journey, I have wrestled a lot with medication. And, I've never thought of it as necessarily a bad thing. I think it's really all perspective and how you see using it. And if you are using it in conjunction with other tools in your life, anything can be good or bad depending on what you're doing it for. I had a lot of horrible experiences with antidepressants for many years. And it actually wasn't until I got a bipolar diagnosis that I was able to actually get on something that was more appropriate for me, and that was a mood stabilizer. At that time too, I was also prescribed benzos for a while as well. And I think the timing of being prescribed something like that, I probably had the potential to abuse it, but I had decided at that point for myself, like having a diagnosis, that I really had no other options, to be honest with myself about, you know, making my life better and healing myself. And it actually ended up being a really, really helpful tool for me for several years. I was able to kind of get like the clarity that I didn't feel like I had when I wasn't on them, especially while I was in therapy and working through PTSD. It was helpful to keep me like in a more balanced state. And I was starting to able more clearly track like where my brain was, and if I was feeling, more quote unquote manic or depressive, that really helped just kind of keep the high highs and the low lows like a little less aggressive over time. And it helped me to figure out my patterns. But I was also, with this medication that I was on, I was doing the work alongside of it. I never put my hopes into taking a pill was just going to cure everything. I looked at it as though that it was going to help me, keep myself more level so I could get level in my life alongside everything else. and it was great for several years. And I was keeping up with that for quite a while. And once I got more connected to the spiritual aspects of my healing, um, I was feeling pretty good that I understood like kind of how my mind worked at that point, and started feeling very confident that, you know what, maybe I could see if I could live a life without this, because unfortunately, I will say probably the negative, kind of dirty aspect of pharmaceuticals is that they will tell you that you're going to have to be on this the rest of your life. And I call bullshit. I think that's absolute bullshit. If you do your due diligence and work on yourself and don't just rely on that pill to make you better, you don't have to be on it the rest of your life. And I wanted to explore whether or not if that was a possibility for me. And I actually, the month that I decided that I was going to talk to my medication provider about this, I actually had a kind of like a psychotic break. And that will be for another story. I will talk about that at some other time. But I wanted to stick to my guns on this, because what ultimately that did for me was really put my mental well-being, my spiritual well-being, all of it really completely, truly into my own hands. And even though I went through something that I felt like kind of mentally cracked me, I called up my guy. I was like, hey, I would like to look at working towards getting off of this medication. And I was like, I know I'm really selling this considering what I just went through, but please hear me out. Like, please just do this alongside me, and see how it goes for the next few months. And if it doesn't work and I become a total wreck without it, like, I surrender to that. But I really feel like I want to see if I don't have to depend on this anymore, and put like all the responsibility back into my hands. And he definitely advised against it, but was like, well, I would rather do this with you than not. And then side note too, like, I was feeling skeptical about, like, I was trying to do my research and see if there were any negative long-term effects of taking something like lamotrigine for years and years and years and years. And I couldn't find anything good or bad, which means I'm not here to find out. So it took about, I want to say 6 months, but with the help of, a professional, I got off of it. And around the same time as when I moved back, close to where I grew up. And after it will be 1 year in this coming May that I've been medication free for a year. Was it easy? I think this year wasn't necessarily easy because it's been a time of retreat for me. However, I can say with confidence that actually I don't need any more. And it's because I started utilizing every other tool in my belt, and understanding that that was just a tool for the time being. And I'm doing great without it. And there's been even more internal work that I've been having to do for the past several months. But now that I understand what I need to do for myself on a regular basis, I don't need it anymore. And I'm not saying that nobody needs it. I think it's good to be skeptical on the effects that this stuff is having on people, because I've had some really awful experiences in the past where I did get suicidal on medication. So, like, really use your discernment with how these medications are being just prescribed. And I did have a good experience with it, but that also helped give me the key to finding ways that I could find my own happiness, and also without medication. And I'm just here to tell you all that it's possible. If you are on it, like, just be aware of the effects that it can have. Use that as a tool. If you are going into, it's all mindset. If you're going into getting on medication and thinking that just taking this pill is going to make you better, then, like, I hate to break it to you, that's not how it works. But if you look at it as, this is going to be a tool to help guide me to find the right habits for myself to get myself well, and this is just a tool, not the total answer, then by all means, it probably could work for you too. And then one day you might not need that tool anymore. So that's just my experience with it. So I just wanted to say it's possible. And yeah, I hope this helps you all out. Much love to you guys. All right.